Sorry. So this video is for the women that are already in menopause. And like I said before, the average age for menopause in the US is 51 years old, but that would vary a lot between women. And the life expectancy here in the US is 78 years old for women, so nearly 80, and you can live more than that. So if you go into menopause in your 50s and you live until you are 80 or more, you have nearly half of your life left, a little bit under half of your life left. But there are many, many years to come, and we want to be as not only increase the lifespan, but we want to increase this health span. And so menopause is associated with many uncomfortable symptoms, but this doesn't have to be like this. So we can see that it is a normal hormonal fluctuation because you have lost all of your eggs and your ovaries do not function anymore. And so there is a natural decline in progesterone and estrogen and a natural increase in LH. And so this hormonal pattern is very similar to any woman in the whole world. But the symptoms that we experience here in the Western part of the world is so much worse than women in the Eastern part of the world, or even in the Western part, but the poles, right? So, and why is that? Well, it is the environment. So the environment is setting us up to insuccess, to these horrible symptoms, and that gives us a lot of power, right? There's a lot that you can do to live the second half of your year with not just health, but quality of life, right? And so this is what this next series of videos are going to be about. So today we're going to do like general ideas on how to better administer menopause. So the first thing is for us to identify what the problems are, the main problems of this woman in her 50s arriving in menopause. So she comes very depleted in all senses. So she's depleted of energy. She has been working her whole life and managing family and kids and career and her own body and all of the responsibilities that a woman has. And this depletes her of energy. She has had many sleepless nights with kids. Or with her own health or issues or anything like that. So she is sleep deprived. And we know that a person that is sleep deprived has hormonal imbalances, has trouble losing weight, has some cognitive issues. So they start losing a little bit of their memory. Word searching starts to become a little difficult. They're more fatigued. So everything is being affected by a lot of stress as well. So this woman has accumulated a lot of stress during her life. So she had college stress and career stress and family stress and marital stress and all that. So this affects her mitochondria, her ability to relax and digest the food correctly and absorb those nutrients correctly. She also comes into this stage of life very depleted of nutrients. This is because of pregnancy, of breastfeeding, of child raising, of stress, specifically stress, and a poor diet, right? She has had her whole life abusing her body. Most women have not taken the steps necessary to enter menopause as healthy as they can be. And so now it is the time to fill up their cup again. And then finally, I want to talk about the depletion of her identity. Because now some of them are empty nesters, some of them are in a place in their career that they're not very satisfied with. They have changed their worth in the family, maybe at the workplace, inside the marriage. And so they have a lot of psychological issues that are influencing them. And this really, really affects their sleeping, their stress, and just their general well-being. And then the last thing that I want to talk about is exposure. So she has had a lifelong exposure to pollutants, to stuff that she puts on her skin, makeup and healthcare products, to cleaning materials, to toxins from new houses, off-gassing from houses. A lot of things that she has been exposed to, and these accumulate in her body. And if she is not eating a proper diet and not taking proactive steps to detoxify, she is completely toxic at this age. And this really messes up your hormones. And I venture to say that along with stress, the toxins are the stress and toxins are the top two aggravators of the symptoms of menopause, of us women in the Western world. So what can we do? So knowing these problems, we know that we can act on these. So first and foremost, you want to touch on the diet, right? You want this diet to be anti-inflammatory because this woman is inflamed. She is inflamed because she doesn't sleep. She's inflamed because she's stressed. She's inflamed because she's nutrient depleted, and she is inflamed because she is toxic. So what is an anti-inflammatory diet? It is a diet full of color, full of phytonutrients, full of antioxidants. So we want this diet to be very antioxidant as well, because that will help her with the aging process. Once your cells become oxidized, that means that they are rusted and they start aging. So you break down collagen, you break down elastin. These are the things that keep your skin turgor. And you start getting saggy. Oxidative stress also makes your hair go white. So the more you can see this happen in presidents, right? They come in with one color of the hair and then they leave the office with another color of hair. So stress really, really takes a toll on your skin, on your hair, on your nails. And this is very important for women. So you want a diet that is very, very filled with vegetables, and most specifically cruciferous vegetables. So the ones that are kind of stinky. So the cabbage, the broccoli, the cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, all those will really, really help women detoxify because they are sulfur containing. And that is one element that really is used up a lot in the detoxifying process. So you want good quality proteins because that'll help you detoxify as well. What else? You want collagen in your diet. And how do you get there? Well, from animal products, you get collagen from bone broth specifically, and from supplements. We will touch on supplements on a later video. A lot of fish and omega-3s. I don't think that people are eating fish with the frequency and quantity that they're supposed to get all the omega-3s that they need without needing to supplement. So omega-3 is definitely something that we do want to supplement in a woman in menopause, especially because since she loses that protective effect of estrogen on her cardiovascular system, she really needs antioxidants right now, anti-inflammatory compounds such as omega-3s to protect her vessels from having strokes and all the things that come with menopause that are related to cardiovascular health. So a lot of colors, a lot of spices. So spices act in two manners. They're detoxifying and they're antioxidants. So when I say spices, I say cumin and turmeric and black pepper and all the colorful things that all the different international foods can bring to us, not just the regular oregano and basil, but those two. Rosemary is a very, very, very good one. You want a lot of fiber because it'll help you with the constipation. That's, if you already didn't have it, it'll probably start now in menopause because of all the drying effects of menopause. So a lot of fiber. And fiber will feed the good bacteria, really balance your gut, help you detoxify all that estrogen metabolites that can be cancer forming. So you do want to be pooping those out as much as you can. So fiber will really help with that. Water because it helps you detoxify and it hydrates you. This is a Vata period of life. Ayurveda classifies after 50 years old a Vata period. And Vata is very dry and airy. And so you need to hydrate. Cold pressed healthy oils to maintain that skin hydrated, to maintain your hormones, because our hormones come from cholesterol, they come from fats. So you want the cold pressed oils that are healthy. So avocado oil, sesame oil, olive oil, especially olive oil, some flaxseed oil you can use too, but always not cooked, just on top of your food after you have cooked, because I have touched on this before, but you oxidize oils when you heat them up, and you don't want that. You want a lot of phytoestrogens. We're going to go very much into phytoestrogens later when we're talking about all the symptoms of menopause and how to manage it. But phytoestrogens are a very potent tool that you would have to manage those symptoms. What are they? Phyto means plants. Estrogen is estrogen. So it's estrogen from plants. So there are compounds that are not exactly, but very similar to our estrogen. And they bind to the estrogen receptors in your body. And you don't have any, not anymore, but you have very, very little estrogen in your body after menopause, right? Unless you're on hormonal replacement therapy. And so you can use these estrogen from plants that you can find in soy, that you can find in flax seeds, in chickpea, in mung beans, to help your body kind of think that there's estrogen there, and be protective to bone, and be protective to your cardiovascular system, and help you with the hot flashes, with the night sweats, with the vaginal dryness, and with all those uncomfortable things that come with menopause, that shouldn't come with menopause, but does. And then you can use a lot of teas, and teas are just wonderful because they hydrate, they detoxify, and they're antioxidants. So really, really incorporate teas in your life. Cut out those processed foods, fried foods, sugary foods, salty foods, especially now that your cardiovascular risk is higher. You really don't want to be eating a lot of salty foods. And so you want to substitute those in the middle of the day if you needed a snack for some tea. That will calm you down, earth you, ground you, and give you the antioxidants and phytonutrients that you do need. And so for menopause, I will tell you that fennel tea is great. Sage is the most menopausal tea that Ayurveda recommends, and chamomile and ginger are also very good. But any other tea really could be good. The green tea is excellent if you do it in the morning, if you don't have trouble sleeping. Definitely don't do it later in the afternoon if you do struggle with insomnia, which is unfortunately one of the side effects of menopause as well, and we will be talking about that later. So what things will even aggravate more your hormonal imbalances regarding diet? So saturated fats, and that would aggravate as well your cardiovascular risk. So you really want to cut down on those red meats, very marbled beef, steaks, and stuff like that. Do it, twice a week, and smaller sizes. A 6-ounce steak is more than enough. No trans fats as much as possible. And what is the trans fats? Those come from margarine, and usually they're all sneaked in the processed goods. Anything that comes from packages like Pop-Tarts and granola bars of bad quality. All the refined sugars and carbohydrates, right? Because they will spike your blood sugar, do the insulin resistance all over, all those things. Xenobiotics, you do want to stay away from those parabens and phthalates and those things that I say that you put on your body on purpose, and that you can really not try to take them out. So switch out your healthcare products. Try not to be exposed so much to the pesticides, so trying to eat a little bit more organic so you're not being exposed to even more toxins and just accumulating that. Alcohol is really something that will increase your breast cancer risk. So if you do drink, that rule of 1 drink per day, and 1 drink is only 5 ounces of wine, 1.5 ounces of the spirits, and 12 ounces of beer for women. And women should only have 1 a day, ideally not even every day. The processed foods, I've said that, and artificial sweeteners. We've been talking about how those really trick your body into thinking that something sweet is coming in. It will respond with insulin, and then the insulin is in your blood, and it doesn't have anything sweet to carry into the cells, because the body doesn't recognize that molecule of the artificial sweetener. So if artificial sweeteners were the answer to obesity, everybody would be skinny by now, because everybody has their Diet Coke, and it's the same thing. So I always say, if you want something sweet, just go ahead with the good old sugar or syrup or maple syrup or honey, and just have it in moderation, because the more natural you can go is better. The milk products is something that you do want to cut back for 2 reasons. 1, because it's very inflammatory, and menopausal women are very inflamed. 2, because it worsens constipation for most people. 3, so I guess there's 3 reasons. It increases your calcium excretion in your urine. And so it actually leaches out calcium from your bones, which is very counterintuitive to what the media, or, just big industry, big food industry has been marketing, calcium for milk for strong bones, and it's not necessarily like that. So really cut down on that dairy, substitute to other plant milks, and that'll help you with the osteoporosis, which unfortunately is also something that comes with menopause, because estrogen is protective to the bones, and once you don't have that estrogen, you do have. And then final thing is removing sodas, because that also causes osteoporosis.